get home like right at 7 or 7 my time. So anyway, this worked out good.
Oh yeah, it's 7 my time too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Where are you at?
I'm in San Francisco.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Yeah. So where are you?
Arizona.
Okay. Yeah.
Nice.
I like Arizona.
Yeah, it's fun.
Hi, Sarah.
Oh,
Hi.
hi, Sarah. Hello.
Okay. So we're waiting on 2 other people, I think.
That's good. Let's see. So, Sarah, where are you at?
I'm in Provo, Utah.
Oh, awesome.
Oh yeah, I lived there for 5 years.
Did you? And,
Yes. Until about a year and a half ago.
oh, nice. Is that where you're from, or are you from San Francisco?
No, I'm from Southern California, and then I moved to Provo for school and stuff,
Oh.
and then I got married a year and a half ago, and my husband was in San Francisco while we were dating, so then I moved out here after we got married.
Got it.
Yeah. It's cold and rainy right now, so
Ugh. It was
it's nice to finally be home and inside.
Oh man, I wish that was the case. It was like 96 today.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm sure it's beautiful in Provo. I love this time of year there.
It is very, very pretty.
I know the fall's so pretty there.
Yeah, the leaves are like all falling and stuff. It's perfect. It's so pretty.
Love it.
It like doesn't even feel like Halloween is on Monday or the holidays here for me.
I'm sure. Same here.
Oh yeah, because it's so hot.
Yeah. Hey, Brett.
Hi, everyone.
Okay, so let me see.
So, Brett, where are you at? I'm writing all this down so I can keep track. I have like 2 other group meetings other week or other nights, so I'm like.
Okay, I'm from Kingman, Arizona.
Oh, nice. I'm in Mesa.
Nice.
Yeah. Right on. So was there 7 in our group?
Is there 7 now? Because I didn't see 7 before.
Let me see. I could be wrong. I was just. Let's see.
Oh yeah. They added people to our group. Okay, so I have Karen, Sarah, Brett's here. I've sent Innocent one and Hannah. Courtney was going to come on, she said, a little bit later. Brett, did you just go? You found the link on the meeting part,
Yes.
right? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, because I don't think I had you when I just emailed the other group. Not the other group, but what our group was before 2 other people were added. So yeah, Courtney wrote on the group meeting page that she should be on around like 8:15 for the Mountain Standard Time.
Okay.
So, and I posted the link on the meeting. So I don't know where. Let's see. Innocent is I emailed him. So,
What was his name? Ennison?
listen, yeah. So he sent me his Gmail, and I invited him. Oh. Okay, so we'll just see if he ends up coming on. I mean, what do you guys think we should just start and then?
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that so we're not waiting all night. Sure we.
Yeah, I don't know where Hannah is either because she sent her email and I sent her an invite, but.
So Hannah, Courtney, and Ennison are left, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Where?
Okay, I just invited them again.
Well, I guess we could start introducing or.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so everybody, just introduce yourselves. And on here it says your favorite, I mean, you can say your favorite thing about the course, your career goals, or anything else you want to share. Like where you live, that kind of stuff.
Cool.
Okay, there's Hannah. What she's doing. I thought she was.
Yeah, I see your little picture.
Okay. Hi, Hannah.
Hi.
Okay, good. I'm glad that you got this. Okay, so while we're waiting for the others, then I will start. So my name is Ashley Beck. I live in San Francisco with my husband. I'm an executive assistant at a commercial real estate / investment firm here. So I work full time and then do school full time as well, which is kind of a lot, but I'm trying to get it done because moving to San Francisco kind of sent me back from graduating. So just trying to push through. But yeah, so we live in San Francisco, and the city it's fun but kind of stressful at the same time, just because everybody here is like so busy. And I always feel bad because as a public health degree, you should want to help homeless people, but you get kind of very sick of them here. Especially when they're yelling at you all the time. And just, yeah. I mean, obviously, like, I want to help them, and sometimes I do, but sometimes when they yell at you, it's kind of scary.
I think a person has to want to help themselves too. So
Yes, I know. Like this, it was so sad because I was on the bus yesterday coming home from work, and this homeless lady got on the bus, and she smelled so bad that it just made the entire bus smell, and everybody that was back where she was just moved up to the front of the bus. And I was like, how sad, because you could tell she was kind of on something too, so she didn't really notice it as well. But I was like, oh my gosh, it's just so sad that people get to that state. But anyways, yeah, so my degree is public health promotion and education, and I'll be graduating next spring. And then I'm not really sure what I'm going to do because we'll probably be trying to have kids by then. So I don't know that I'll actually be able to work in the field until later. So kind of undecided, but my husband and I want to start our own charity later on, probably deeper into his career and as our kids have grown up a little bit, but that's kind of the plan for me. So I'll work with that, but yeah. Who wants to go next?
Okay. I'll go. So I'm Karen Rogers. And wait, Courtney, what does your husband do? That you guys wanted to, or sorry, Ashley.
What does my husband do? Oh, he works in finance and tech.
Oh, cool. Sweet. But yeah, I'm Karen Rogers and live in Mesa, Arizona. Been born and raised. And I'm also, I think, are we all public health majors right now, I guess?
I'm pretty sure.
So, but I'll be done in the spring too, and I cannot wait. I started out doing nursing, or I started out with interior design, and then went to nursing, and then want to do physical therapy, and now I want to do nutrition. So I seriously have been going to school for 8.5 years, like consistently. I got married, or after school, moved to Utah, and I ran track at UVU for 1.5 years. And then moved back home, and then went into interior design, and I didn't like that as much as I thought. And so, yeah, I lost a lot of credits along the way. And then in 2013, I started Pathway, and which sent me back another year, and because I had my associates. But anyway, I have 4 classes left, and I cannot wait. So. But yeah, I have an internship starting in January. Well, before that, I've been nannying full time for the last 4 years, and it's been a great student job, I guess. And then my husband teaches, so then did someone?
Yeah, Dennis is great.
Oh, hey.
I think is that how you say it? Is that how you pronounce it? Enison?
Right.
Okay.
Awesome. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, you too.
We're just introducing ourselves. So, but anyway, I have an internship lined up starting in January here at a medical school. I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to be doing yet, but I'm excited. So I'll be done in April. So, awesome. Yeah.
That's nice that you have your internship lined up.
It's been a slow process, but I'm hoping I want to do nutrition, so I'm hoping it's kind of along that line, but I'll take anything at this point. So
I know. Especially when you graduate, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I know the feeling. All right. Who wants to go next?
I can go next.
Yes, I can.
Okay.
You want to go?
Yeah, I'll just go. Okay, I'm Sarah. I'm living in Provo, Utah, and ready to be out of here.
Yeah, I know the feeling.
Yep. I only lasted 1.5 years, so
Yeah. Anyway, so I actually did some of the same thing that Karen did. I was at BYU, Idaho in 2011, and I was doing nursing, and then I got married in 2012 and stopped doing nursing, and now I'm doing health science, and I have 2 classes left in an internship, so I'm hoping to be able to graduate. We'll see. Hoping to be able to graduate next fall, because I'm 3 weeks away from having my second kid. So,
oh my gosh!
Oh, wow.
So we'll see how that fits into everything. And I want to be able to go back to nursing because I have enjoyed most of the classes, but the main reason I did health science, like with a public health emphasis, was because it fit with all the nursing prereqs that I already had.
Nice.
So my goal is to go back to that in the next 3 years. Thankfully, I have a supportive husband, but
That's nice.
anyway, so that's really just me. That's what I want to be able to do eventually.
Awesome.
Awesome. Well, great to meet you. Brett, do you want to go now?
Sure. So I'm Brett. I have 4 kids. Well, sorry, 3 kids. My wife's about to have our 4th in a week and a half.
Oh, wow.
Yep. I work full-time as a physical therapist assistant. I've done that for about 6 years now. I'm doing the public health degree. It's kind of in prep for someday going to PT school. So it's a long ways down the road, though.
That's awesome. PT school would be cool.
Pretty much it. Sorry, what's that?
I said props to you with 4 kids almost. Holy cow.
Yeah, that's the end for us.
I haven't even started, and that makes me tired.
I know, I don't get it either.
Very good.
All right. Hannah, do you want to introduce yourself now?
Sure. Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
All right, cool. I live in Rigby, Idaho, which is about 15 minutes south of Rexburg. So I do a little bit of online and a little bit on campus. My major is public health with an emphasis in health science. I have no idea what I want to do with it yet, but we'll see where it takes me when I'm done. I have about 1.5 to 2 years left, so about halfway done.
Awesome, you're getting there.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Denison, do you want to introduce yourself now?
My name's Denison. I'm a junior on campus here. I got 29 credits left. I haven't slept in like 3 days, so I'm gassed. My major is public health with emphasis in health science. I think I want to be a pediatrician. So that's what I'm working on right now. I might go on my mission after the winter, then come back and finish. Can you guys still hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't see you guys anymore, so I don't know what's going on.
We can still see you.
Okay, I'll just keep talking. Yeah, I'm planning on going on my mission after the winter semester, then come back and finish. Yeah. What else? I'm on campus right now, but I'm off track, so I'm just working. So I've been working 40 hours a week, trying to balance 8 credits online, so it's kind of rough. But
yeah, you need to get some sleep.
yeah, I've gone through like a pack of Red Bull already, so
Oh my gosh.
I need some sleep now.
Yeah. We'll try to make this not too long.
Yeah, I think that's all about me.
Awesome.
Nice to meet you.
Okay, you
Yeah, it's nice to meet everybody. So I know we still have one more person, but she isn't here yet.
What's her name?
Courtney.
Oh, no. I was talking to this girl that needed.
I hope that she joins sometime. So I guess we will see. Okay, so for the rest of it, we're just supposed to discuss, let's say we'll briefly discuss a quick review of the model. So summarize how the theory of reasoned action and planned behavior model works. So let's start with that.
Okay.
So Okay. So let's see.
So who feels like they have a good grasp on it all?
Gosh, I feel like I should be better, but
So
I guess we
I
could figure out the definitions and say what they mean to us, like how we ourselves define them.
okay.
I don't know.
Sorry, I have like all these tabs up. I'm trying to keep track of everything. So summarize how the model works. Okay, so the models, they claim that behavioral intention is the most important determinant of behavior, and that people consider the implications of their actions before deciding to engage in or refrain from any given behavior. And I know that our application has to do a lot with going back to our health interviews, and it kind of goes through some of this stuff. So there's, how many? There's 10 or 11 constructs.
Yeah, there's 11.
Yeah, 11 constructs in it. Just kind of seems like a lot, but
Did you guys get all, or those were in the notes, right? So I guess we all got, or in the book, I
Yeah.
guess. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was interesting how they were specifically split up, though, going with each model, like with the theory of reason action, like constructs 1 through 8 go with that, but then specifically 9 through 11 go with
Planned behavior.
the other one,
Planned
yeah. Theory of planned behavior.
Oh, I didn't recognize that. That's a good point.
Yeah, I didn't really recognize that either, so that's good to know. So I guess like what is basically the gist of these theories? Like what are they trying to do?
So from what I, sorry.
Go ahead.
From what I understand, I had started the application or the application part, and I don't know, I could be wrong, but I was just kind of, so the planned behavior kind of links beliefs and behaviors. So for an example I had was that like a salesman or woman wants to change your attitude about the product so that you will buy it. And I had written, let me find it. Attitudes are a good way to predict unplanned behavior, or like spontaneous unplanned behavior. And then, but combined with agency and the predicted behavior, that's kind of what the planned behavior is all about. I don't know if that, because they go hand in hand. So is that right? From what I.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that was good.
Going off of what Ashley was saying, it seems like theories and models, by applying them to the interviews that we did, it seems like we're able to hone in on where the weakness is that's changing their behavior to a more healthy behavior. And on maybe where to help them make that correction so they can find healthier habits in their life.
Yeah.
Yeah,
totally. You can see what their attitude is toward the behavior, which will help you know if they're really going to change the behavior.
Right. Like sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead.
I say the person that I chose to focus on in my interview, most of theirs sound construct. And so, does anybody remember what the ninth one was?
It's perceived behavioral control.
Right, and so
the
that kind of goes to say that they already know about what is a healthy habit, and they know, what they could change, but they don't feel like they have that power. So that's where we would focus on trying to help them make changes and improve.
Yeah, definitely. I thought it was funny because I did my my mom and my sister. My sister, it seemed like to me, and I'm sure this happens in real interviews, where they wanted to seem more confident about their answers than they really were, or they wanted to seem like they were really knowledgeable about the subject, when the way that they answered their questions, you could kind of tell that they weren't really a 6 on the 1 through 7 scale, but they're answering, I think a 6, because they didn't want to be a 3 or a 4. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I had that same thing too. I also did, I did my two, I did a friend and my sister, but my sister was kind of, I think, Brett, what you said is like she knew, or she at least thought she did, of the concepts of a healthy behavior, but I think she just kind of, on most of them it was 6s and 7s, and so I don't think. Also, what I found out is, so I interviewed my sister, and then I interviewed a friend who is a yoga instructor, and so obviously knows a lot about health and stuff. And it was funny because it seemed like the more that she gave herself lower answers or responses than my sister did. So it's like the more that we know, the more we know, the harder we are on ourselves.
Yeah, the more you criticize yourself.
Yeah.
Totally. That's so funny.
So that was my observation.
Let me just say something. I haven't said anything. I interviewed my cousin, and so for the, is it called constructs or whatever? His was the subjective norms. Is that one of it?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah. So he was more inclined to change it based on what people thought of him. So especially the opposite sex. So he would want to work out and eat healthier, if that would get him more what's the word I'm looking for?
Incentive.
Right, like more attention from the opposite sex or whatever. So he would be more inclined to eat healthy and work out and be physically fit for the opposite sex. So he cared a lot about what people thought about his behavior or whatever. So that's what I got from my interview.
Yeah, that definitely drives a lot of people to exercise too.
Yeah, incentive is a big thing.
I also think that sometimes people give you the answers that they think you want to hear because they think that that's the right answer instead of answering it that's definitely a big thing. I found that in my mother-in-law. She said that the highest answers on almost all of them, and you can tell with her body language and everything that she nodded her head no when she said it's 7 or the highest or something, but that's what she thought that I wanted to hear, so that's what she would say. And I think that's really big in a lot of things in life that we do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally. No, that's kind of what my sister did too. And so it's interesting to watch that because you can tell from their body language that they necessarily shouldn't be giving themselves such a high grade on the scale, but I mean, they're answering for themselves, so that's okay, but you can just kind of tell. So yeah, to basically summarize these theories, so they take into account people's intentions and their thoughts and their attitudes and, you know, self-efficacy and everything towards behaviors. And we kind of use all of that to see whether to kind of form an intervention to help them to change their behaviors. Does anybody else have anything to add?
Well, I think, sorry, just going back to like my interviews, I didn't really talk about them, but one specifically, I have a good friend and that had put herself in a very, almost a homeless situation just because of choices she's made. And that was fascinating to interview her because she would put like really high answers of what she wanted to do, but it was very interesting because with her body language, she was so nervous and she was really fidgety and awkward because she knew that even the simplest of things like good hygiene, she wasn't following. And so for me, that was very interesting just to see that. She's like, oh yeah, I want to be able to work out and all this stuff, but I can't really do that because of my situation right now and all these things. And it was very interesting to see how for her, like mentally, it completely affected her physically. Since she was such a low mental point, she could have changed. There's a lot of things that she could change, and she wouldn't have to be in the situation that she was in. But because she's just let herself go mentally so much, simple things like hygiene are completely gone as well. Like it was fascinating. She didn't even care about like showering or anything. It's just, which is, you know, I think probably weird to a lot of us. But
I read all the time.
But anyway, so yeah, it was just that was very interesting to me. So she was definitely not caring, really. I mean, well, no, it was. She fit best with subjective norm because she cared what people were thinking and whatnot so much to the point that she didn't want to tell anyone what was going on in her life.
Okay. Yeah.
So it was just a really huge fear for her. To the point of like an unhealthy fear.
Yeah.
So
totally.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Crazy. That is interesting. So let's see. Discuss the processes and how they relate to the stages of the model. Isn't that what we kind of just did?
Yeah, with our interview process.
Our interviews and everything. I mean, it's easiest to talk about it when you're relating it to something. I feel like for all of us, because we've all related it to our interviews, it's just easiest to kind of define it when you actually have an example to talk about. So, let's see. The next part is applying the model. So what kind of interventions centered on the processes move people through the stages? You guys need me to say the question again?
Can you please repeat it?
Yeah. It says, what kind of interventions centered on the processes move people through the stages? So through this, like the stages that we just talked about.
I think they definitely need to be interventions. Like what am I trying they have to be in certain steps, and they have to be able to comply with the person's agency with how willing they are to change.
Yeah,
And so
definitely.
you'd have to start, I guess what I'm saying, you'd have to start baby steps and then go from there, and check up on them often too. That's really important in an intervention. And just do your best to push them, but at the same time, don't push them to the point where they're going to be like, okay, I give up. I don't want to make this change
Yeah.
in
So
life.
you have to know them first.
Yeah, and like use the processes and self-efficacy to, you know, how they said, oh man, what was it? Where you encourage them and then you give them like little
Rewards.
well, like tasks that they can do that
Smaller
you know
goals.
that they can accomplish, and then they'll feel better about being able to do the next things that you give them.
I think as humans, that's how we work. Like it's easier if you have a list of things to do. Looking at that list is overwhelming, but if you just take one thing at a time, step by step, then I relate that to school. I mean, when we all first started, it was just like, holy cow, we're never gonna get finished. But each semester, we're just knocking off a class here and there, and I don't know.
So I'm wondering, I mean, is she asking, or are they asking for specific interventions?
I don't think they're asking for a specific one. I think they're asking for what characteristics does a successful intervention have in order to be successful, moving people through the stages.
So I guess going back to like the interventions all the way back in, was it lesson 4 or something? I pulled that up. So there's like a social norms theory intervention and the social cognitive theory intervention, those different theories that are used that we learned about. If anybody remembers those, I guess. I don't know.
I remember going over them.
I know, that's the thing. You remember going over them, and then you have to go over them again.
Yeah.
And I've like done tons of public health classes, and I swear it never fully sticks because you don't use them. Well, except for in the class that you actually have to do one of these.
I think it's like we use them, but it's not like we're like, oh, that's the cognitive or the social norm intervention, or that's the terminology. There's just I'm thinking sociology right now too, and it's just like, I mean, I know I use each of these terms daily, but I don't understand or comprehend that that's what they are.
Exactly.
So is this we're on part 3, right? Or finishing up part 3? Okay.
Yeah, we're doing part 3. Discuss the examples presented in your readings. Well, I think we still need to do the intervention part, but I was just reading that.
I think that I just went back to my interview, like one intervention / solution that would work is the one we learned about last week, like the social cognitive theory with self-efficacy, and just being able to build a person's self-efficacy beliefs. And so just starting them out, just like, of course, in that program for the blind in that video, that was how they built self-efficacy. That was their kind of intervention. And so at least in both of my interviews, that would be the best intervention that I could use, that I could think of.
Oh, that's a great example.
So do we need to analyze that and break down what made it successful?
Wait, what did you say, Brett?
do we need to analyze it and discuss what made that intervention successful? I think that's what they're wanting, right? Is for us to break it down.
Yeah, I think to a point, just I remember writing last week of like the importance of like strong role models or leaders that encourage, especially in those kids, just to help build up their self-esteem and self-efficacy. And that was the most prominent way I saw.
Yeah, and then just the case study that was used last week, I think this was right. Just talking about how, depending on, as you were saying, Karen, depending on the people that you surround yourself with, like if you surround yourself with people that are alcoholics and you're having an alcoholic problem, you're not going to be able to change that. And so you need to just completely have different friends.
Right.
To have the role model to.
I was going to say the exact same thing.
Yeah, the different role.
The example that you were saying about the blind kids, trying to remember what the exact term was, but where people like them can do what they're thinking they can't do. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, they gave us four different ways that you can help improve self-efficacy. Then he was the third one, that people like them can do it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of what they
I think
did.
that really helps. Plus, I think it gives you, when you see other people like you doing something, it also like gives you confidence as well as self-efficacy, and you have more of a desire to do it because you're thinking, oh, they did it, so I can do it, and then you want to make that change or do what you need to do to accomplish. Okay.
Move on to part 4.
Okay, yeah, so part 4 is a scenario discussion and application assignment prep. So the scenario is discuss Grace's scenario from the Lesson 7 foundation earlier in the lesson. Ask each group member to share their thoughts on each option. Where does each option fit into the morally forbidden to morally permissible range? Explain your rationale. So this is the part where we had to.
Grace was the one that was pouring the white powder into her friend's drink, right?
Yeah. Whether it was poison or
Sugar.
So. I want to see if I can open that up again.
The only thing that it asks
Anybody else
at the end
think
of it brings it up is just, as a health educator, how can you help Olivia? Kind of just what it's
How can you help what?
How can you help Olivia as a health educator?
Wait, who's Olivia?
That's for this.
I thought it was for Grace.
Oh, never mind. I'm sorry. You're right.
We might be talking about 2 different things.
You're talking about 2 different things. Sorry about that.
No, you're totally fine. Grace is when we had to go through, and at the end we had to do morally forbidden or morally permissible on a scale of 1 to 5.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to open it so I can.
That was in lesson 6, right?
No, that was this week. That was lesson 7.
Was it?
Yeah, it's lesson
Yeah.
7.
It's in the foundation instructions,
Oh, okay.
the moral judgment. Yeah, because then you had to listen to the audio.
Oh, that's right. Okay. And then mark your answer.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember exactly what happened in the audio. But I guess it just talks about all of these different options and how people decide whether things are morally forbidden or morally permissible. So
are we supposed to be talking about the answers that we gave?
I think we're supposed to discuss the answers we chose and why.
Yeah.
So I know everybody just like share your thoughts
Okay.
on each option. So like Grace thinks the powder is, so yeah, you can just say like what you thought for each of the options that are given, 1 through 4. So I'll go first. For mine, so the first one is Grace thinks the powder is sugar. It is sugar, her friend is fine. So I put that was morally permissible on a 5 because she's not doing anything wrong.
Right.
For the second one, where she thinks it's powder, or that it's sugar, it is toxic and her friend dies. I put it as a 4 because she didn't know.
Yeah.
So it's not really something that can be against her, in my opinion, just because she wasn't trying to do it maliciously. And for 3 and 4, I put morally forbidden. Because obviously if she thinks it's toxic, then she shouldn't be putting it in her friend's drink at all. So those are my thoughts on it.
I can go next. For the first one, I put it as a 5 too, also because obviously she was giving her friend sugar and she thought it was and whatever else. And then for the second one, I put it right in the middle because it could have gone either way, I guess. I mean, some people could argue that, I don't know, whatever. And then for 3 and 4, I also put it as a 1 because she obviously knew it was toxic and she was wanting to hurt her friend whether or not it was sugar or not. So
yeah.
I'll go next. For the first one, I put morally permissible because she had no bad intentions. The second one, I put 5 too because she didn't know that it was gonna be toxic. She didn't plan to kill anyone, so I put it as a 5. For number 3, I put it as a 4. Wait. Grace thinks part is toxic. It is sugar. Friend is fine. I put that as a 3 because the way I define morals, yeah. So I asked myself, who sets the morals? And it's like cultural morals. It's like what the whole society accepts as morally permissible. And I believe people can have their own morals, like personal morals, and my personal morals can be different from someone else's personal morals. So if she thought it was morally permissible personally to want to kill her friend, it could be on a 5 for her, but on a like societal scale, it could be forbidden. I don't know if you get what I mean.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, so she could have her own morals, which says it's okay to kill someone, and there's also societal morals which says it's not okay to kill someone. So it can go either ways. It could be morally permissible to her or morally forbidden for society. So And that's the same opinion I have about the last one. So if she believes it's okay to kill someone, it could be morally permissible to her, but not to everyone else. So I don't know if you get what I mean. It's kind of twisted, but that's how I see it.
Yeah, that's true. Well, and I mean, I guess people would also, their opinion on the scale would differ too, depending on like who her friend is and what she's done.
Yeah.
And, you know, maybe she's not a good person. And so some people would say, well, it's okay. But, I mean, obviously we don't want to kill people.
Right.
But I get what you're saying, that everybody has a different
It's just saying that
outlook
it's
on it.
relative. Yeah, that it's relative to the society and the upbringing that they had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess I'll go next. I'm not finding it, so I'm just going to try to remember. She thinks it's sugar, and it is, and friend is fine, obviously permissible. On a scale of 1 to 5, right?
Yeah, scale of 1 to 5. Do you want me to tell you them?
All right.
So the second one is Grace thinks the powder is sugar. It is toxic. Her friend dies.
And that one, I think I put like a 2 because I feel like we're still responsible for our actions even when they're accidental, but it's obviously an accident. And so she shouldn't be held to forgive herself and move on and that kind of thing. Still somewhat permissible. The other 2, though, I put not morally permissible because I feel like intent goes a long way. Did anybody else think that it was interesting, the electromagnetic pulse and how it changes moral judgment? I thought that was crazy. So whenever I considered that, it kind of makes me wonder how everything, or things that can affect our moral judgment and keep us from being in that right frame of mind to make good moral judgment decisions.
Totally. I like that. Yeah, that was good.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'll go. For the first one, I also put morally permissible because she obviously didn't know. For the second one, I put neutral because I kind of felt the same way that Brett did. I mean, you're still responsible for your actions. And then for 3 and 4, I also put morally forbidden. But at the same time, now listening to Brett and Ennison's opinions, I think I would put my answers as neutral because you really, yes, it's just bad to kill someone, period. But at the same time, you don't know the situation and you don't know their state of mind. And so, I mean, they could have a severe mental disease and that person, and they just could not be in the right state of mind at all. So, anyways, those are my thoughts.
Okay, everybody said something great.
Can I say one more thing, just real quick? So, morals can change, real quick. In, society, the morals we had a couple years ago is not the same we have right now. So, there's this quote from this video game I played. I can't remember exactly, but it said, nothing is forbidden, everything is permitted. It just depends on how it's interpreted at that particular time. So I think morals can change. I think the most important morals to have is personal morals. That's what I think. I don't really know societal morals that much because it can change anytime with new trends and whatever. In 10 years, it could be legal to kill someone. I don't know. So that's my own opinion on that.
Yeah, with what you said too, a couple years ago, my husband had to, he's testing for the State Department, and he had to take a polygraph test. And the question he filled out was in regards to his application or his resume, because he had put that he'd only worked for a company for 6 months, but he'd put a year. and which is something so instead of putting 6 months, because you have to track where like what you do for the last 5 years, so he just rounded it up to a year. And then he failed that question because when that was brought up, he remembered, and that stimulated everything. So yeah, morals have a lot to do with, I mean, and everyone's are different. Like some people are probably totally fine, some people or lying or drugs or whatever it is. So
Yeah.
You guys totally changed my, because on number 3 and 4 I put 1, but now with this discussion I'm like, okay, I totally agree. Like,
Yeah.
so anyway.
All right. So let's move on to the last one because it's kind of a little bit longer. So we need to read the instructions for the application assignment and then prepare to complete the assignment by allowing a group member to select one of their interviewees. And we need to work together to identify the constructs from the interview questions and select which area the volunteers struggled with the most. Then work together to design interventions driven by the model. Use the application assignment worksheet to walk through the processes. So everybody should pull up the application assignment.
What we're supposed to pull up again? The application
Yeah, the application assignment.
for lesson 7.
Yeah. So the purpose of this assignment is to apply the theory of reasoned action and planned behavior model appropriately. So we need to return to the health interviews that we conducted and select one of the interviews to use for the assignment. So one of us needs to select, I guess somebody can, what is the word?
Does anyone want to volunteer one of their interviewees?
Yeah. Use as an example. I would do mine, but I don't feel like mine really struggled that much with anything. So
I can use one of mine. I'll have to run to the other room and grab it though, so I'll be right back.
okay, yeah, that's fine. I don't know how this was only supposed to last 45 minutes to an hour because it feels like there's a lot.
8 to 10. So.
Yeah, especially with a big group too.
I know. Yeah, that's true because we do have a big group.
Well, I think for me, I think we already did this for one of my interviews. You guys helped me break it down by using the self-efficacy intervention and model. So we talked about that.
Yeah, that's true.
You guys got it?
Okay.
So did somebody have one, or are we going with mine?
I think we're going with yours.
So I actually interviewed my mom and my sister as well. So it says to pretty much look at each of them and categorize them as pertaining to attitudes, subjective norms, or perceived behavior control. I went down, I picked my mom's because both her and my sister, I felt like had pretty honest answers. Their body language didn't really tell much different than what they said, and knowing them, I kind of agree with everything anyway. So the things that they rated the least, just kind of drew that as their weak area. Things they rated highest. So don't want me to go through each of their answers.
I think we should just, I think it's, we need to identify which questions pertain to attitude,
Right.
subjective norms, and perceived behavior control. So if everybody has one of theirs up, we can go through the questions and say which one is which.
Right. So I didn't know some of them. First one I got was number 2. I put as attitude.
1 second, I'm waiting for mine to pull up. Okay. So why don't we go through
Just each one?
just each one of them. So the first one is, the first section is for nutritional eating behaviors. And the first question is, how well do you feel you know the recommended standards for healthy nutrition and eating? So would that one be attitude, subjective norms, or perceived behavior control?
I'm leaning toward perceived behavior because they kind of know, or it's like,
Yeah.
they know, they have an idea, or they have a perceived idea of how well they know the line or the outline. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I was leaning towards as well.
Yeah. Agreed.
Because, let's see, I don't think it goes with attitude. So
it has nothing to do with how other people view them. So
no. So I'm going to say it's
have to
perceived
be
behavior control. I'm just trying to see which construct is that one.
So that's number 9.
Yeah, so that's how much a person feels they are in command of enacting the given behavior. So that's going to be perceived behavior.
I don't know if this is correct, but I think this one might be subjective norm. So what kind of strategies have you done in the past to change your nutritional / eating behavior? The person said they went vegan, so they ate like veggies and.
What number is that? Because we were just going to go 1 through and just go down the list so we can list them all in order.
Okay, that was number 10. I just like spot it. So
we'll remember that. Remember that when we get to number 10.
Okay.
So number 2 is, how willing are you to make changes in your nutritional eating patterns in the next 4 weeks?
That's all attitude.
Yeah. And 3 is, how ready or prepared are you to make changes in your nutritional eating patterns in the next 4 weeks? What is the second one?
Subjective norm. Oh, wait.
Number 6.
Okay. So what do we think this one is? How ready are you to make changes?
Is that going to be a perceived behavior as well? Because it's also like how we're feeling, as in number 1, where how do you feel you know, or how ready are you?
I think you could argue that or attitude.
I would say it's more attitude. Because if you have a good attitude, then you're going to say, yeah, I'm really ready. But if you don't really have a great attitude about changing, then you're not going to be ready for it.
That was number 3, right? That we're looking at.
Yeah, number 3.
But it could also be that you don't feel like you can
Yeah, that's true.
be ready. So that's why I think it could be 9 or 3.
Let's see what 3, 9.
Allowed to have more than one answer.
That's true. So
Or-
I'm going to say or perceived behavior because it really could be either. Well, I think it can. So 4 is, for me, eating all of my meals according to the recommended standards regularly over the next 4 weeks would be, and then it's on a scale of 1 to 7 from impossible to easy.
I think that's subjective norm because it's kind of like your intention of what you think that you're going to be doing in the next however
Right,
long.
but subjective norm has everything to do with how you think others view you.
Yeah.
So perceived behavior, you feeling like you either can or can't do.
So would that be like behavioral intention more?
I think the things, but I think they just want us to pick from the 3 that they give us in the assignment
Okay.
to be either attitude, subjective norm, or perceived behavioral control.
Okay, so I'm trying to see,
I think
ask him if it's
would be
easy.
attitude, because it's saying for me, like my attitude toward eating all these meals, or I don't know.
I wish I would have wrote down more about the perceived behavioral control scale. Let's see, 7-point unipolar scale. So, because I'm looking at the scales too, because that also goes with constructs. I guess all of ours are 1 through 7. So it's just going to be, do we think it's attitude or perceived behavior control?
So according to the definition in our reading, attitude is just the overall feeling of like or dislike toward a behavior.
Yeah.
And then the perceived behavioral control is how or helpless they feel to be able to, or toward a behavior, I guess.
Okay, so then 4, I'm going to say it would be perceived behavioral control. Because they're stating whether they think it would be impossible or easy to eat all their meals according to the recommended standards.
Right, that's what I would say.
Okay, so 5 is where you ask them, most of my friends eat healthy, yes or no. Most of my family members eat healthy, yes or no. And if they're single, most of my roommates eat healthy. If they're married, my spouse eats healthy.
Could that be subjective norms? Because if they ate healthy and you didn't eat healthy, they might look at you some type of way, and you might be worried about what they think of you. So
Yeah.
I'm leaning more toward subjective ones.
Yeah, I'd go with
I
that.
can't decide. Because the example of subjective norm is if I exercise, my spouse will be proud of me. So it could be. Because if they say that their spouse eats healthy, then they would probably feel like their spouse would be proud of them if they ate healthy.
Yeah, I think that's those.
I mean, what does everybody else think?
I think it's subjective norms.
I think it would be subjective norm because it is asking specifically, at least in my mind, when I was going through the interview, like it was asking all those questions, and it seems like it's asking them because the outcome, you want to see the outcome. Are they being affected by how those people eat around them?
Yeah. Yeah, I hadn't really looked at it like that before, so that's true. Okay, so the next one is most people in my social network want me to eat healthy in the next 4 weeks. So that's going to be subjective norms. And 7 is how confident are you that you will be able to eat healthy in the next 4 weeks? And I think that's perceived behavioral control.
I agree.
Does everybody else agree? Okay. 8 says, how confident are you that you could overcome obstacles that prevent you from eating healthy in the next 4 weeks?
That attitude. Is it asking your
No, I
attitude?
think you're right because it would all depend on. It's going to depend on your attitude. Like, depending on each day, how you choose.
I don't know, because the ninth perceived behavior control is how much a person feels they are in command of enacting the given behavior.
Right, I think it's 9.
I think it's perceived behavioral control.
Because it's whether you're able versus not wanting to.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Because 9, I think, is attitude because it says, I believe I have the ability to eat healthy in the next 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes more sense.
The 9 is attitude.
So, Ennison, what were you saying about 10?
Let me look at it again.
It says, what kinds of strategies have you done in the past to change your nutritional/eating patterns?
Yeah, I was just trying to connect it to subjective norms because the guy I interviewed, he said he started eating vegetables, so he went vegan or vegetarian. I don't know the right term, but so let's say everyone in the family were not vegans, and you suddenly started eating a different type of meal or shopping with a different grocery list. I might be concerned if they think I'm a jerk or something, like it was like bad vibes towards vegans these days or whatever. So I don't know, like I would be concerned about how my family viewed me. Is it in a positive way? Do they think, oh, he's making a good change in his life? That's great. Or why are you doing this? So I don't know.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I don't think it's subjective norms, though, just because it's only asking what kinds of strategies they've done and not why they've done it. But I definitely know what you mean and what you're saying. I'm not exactly sure which one 10 would be, though.
Not either. I'm kind of leaning toward attitude, though, because we felt like that's something they should do. Otherwise, they wouldn't have attempted it. That's the only thing I can come up with. So that could be any of them though, because if they feel they should do it because of somebody else, then it would be subjective norms.
Yeah. Well, they're also supposed to circle which of these strategies worked for them and why they think it worked, but that doesn't really help me figure out what it is. So I'm just going to guess.
Every question falls into a category, or do you think that some of them are just information only?
Some of them might not. That one, I'm not really going to worry about it too much, to be honest, because that one's not really black and white. So let's go to 11. 11 is your current weight or body composition affecting your life right now? If so, how? So, I mean, I would think that would be attitude.
Yeah.
Yeah, though the way that you're viewing yourself.
Yeah, these ones are a little iffy on what they
how
are.
others view you could affect it as well.
So 12, yeah. Are you willing to
Let's
keep
just
a
say there's
nutritional
multiple.
intake log? Have you kept one before? Okay. 14, how would you rate your knowledge of proper nutrition and its relationship to weight management? Oh.
Maybe subjective norms, because it's kind of, if you're comparing yourself from your knowledge or from your, I don't know, your weight. I don't know. Let's see.
I mean, I kind of think this one's attitude. I don't know. I don't know that this one really fits any of those.
Yeah, these last ones are kind of tricky.
Yeah, I would say if it's anything, it's probably attitude.
Okay, so we just had to, which questions specifically address attitude, subjective norms, and perceived behavioral control. So let's just skip those ones because they don't specifically address that.
Good idea.
That's what it says on the application assignment. It just says review the health interview questions and identify and list which questions specifically addressed attitude, which addressed subjective norms, and which addressed perceived behavioral. So it doesn't say that all of them will fit into a category.
Yeah.
And I don't think those last few ones do necessarily fit specifically in categories.
Yep, I agree. So
do we want to go through and do it for fitness, even though it's kind of the same questions?
I think we could, or I think since we did the first part, I mean, they are the same questions.
They basically have the same questions. So if everybody's okay, then we can end there. We just need to decide who's going to be the group leader next week.
Yeah. I could do it.
Foundation's supposed to be one up.
Okay, great.
You're like, thanks, pass on the baton.
Karen, you have the job. So why don't we just plan on, Karen, why don't you just post the link in the group meetings area, and then everybody can get on that way.
Like in the discussion?
In the discussion, yeah.
Okay.
'Cause I posted it there this week too, and it's just the easiest way to make sure that everybody has it, I think.
Do I need to like plug in everyone's email then? And then, or just post
Not on the discussion board for our meeting. You just have to post the link because it already has everybody attached in there.
Oh, perfect. Okay. That's what I'll do then. So, all right.
So, and then I'll post the link for this one right after everybody gets off.
Awesome.
Thanks.
All right.
Good.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
Thank
See
you.
ya.
We'll see you.
Bye.